everyone, my name is Anna,
And my name is Richa.
and today we are going to be discussing a little bit about diversity, inclusion, and how is the book world in our lives and the workplaces. So, Richa, tell me a little bit about your social identity.
I come from India, from the western parts, and my mom is from the south and my dad is from the north.
Amazing.
So I think I'm multicultural when it comes to what culture I'm from.
Nice.
And that's one of the reasons why I can speak 4 languages. I speak
wow.
Tamil, Hindi, Gujarati, and English.
That's good.
So that's 4 languages. Yeah.
Amazing. Any religious did your family
Yes,
practice?
so we are Hindus, and my family back in India, they're very, very religious.
Amazing. Well, in my case, I'm from Colombia, and my ethnicity I represent as a Latino or Hispanic, and I come from a very extroverted culture, very big families. In my case, I like sharing a lot with my family,
That's beautiful.
and we're religious. Our religion is being Catholic. And yeah, I really enjoy the outside and that also represents me as my identity. So
Oh, that's
I
beautiful.
really love it. Yeah.
What do you think your achievements are like?
Well, through my life, I've been through so many goals that I reach, and that makes me feel very, very proud. And the ones I am facing right now, it's the fact of being an international student in Australia, because it's been a very, very long process.
Absolutely.
And although living abroad out of my country and going to nice cultures
Yeah.
and being able to speak a different language. And adapting to this culture, that there's so many things I feel very happy
that's
of
very
living.
beautiful.
Exactly. How about yours? What can you tell me about yours?
I think it's very basic for me, but I had a major accident, and after that, overcoming PTSD or trying to, like come out of it, and it was just really difficult because in a foreign country,
Yeah, it's going to be
yeah,
hard.
it was back in 2019, and I got hit by a drunk driver. So that was really stressful because I was hospitalized for like 4 months, and I had just entered the country like 14 days before the accident. So I had no family, no friends over here. It
Just
was
you.
really-
That
yeah.
must be a very hard situation,
Yeah.
and that's very good. You've been through all of that, and you are.
Yeah, I'm
you
still
mean,
able
so
to,
that-
look at life
Yeah.
in a happy way sometimes.
Well, that's very interesting how difficult situations and getting over them makes a go as a better person, and that's something we must be very
Absolutely.
proud of. And I
Yeah.
feel proud of you.
Oh,
and,
thank you so
and
much.
amazing that you are all very good now, well in your health and
Yeah.
everything. Well, a little bit that I wanted to share as well is the fact of being in this country and be able to learn of other cultures. I mean, I feel
Absolutely.
so happy and always share those experiences with somebody else. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so proud of being here and share with you and your culture and
Yes.
all you can tell me and be able to tell it to somebody else.
Yes.
It's like a very cool thing I really love
Absolutely.
about being
Yeah.
specifically here in Australia. What do you think of the obstacles you faced it now?
I think just because of the PTSD that I keep facing at times, I think that is one of the reasons why it becomes an obstacle for me.
Yes.
And I think even finding a job that will cater to me, because I have a rod in my leg with screws and all of that, it makes it harder for me to adapt to rough and tough environment. Like being a chef, it's like really rough and tough, and my leg just swells up. I think that's one of the reasons why I had to quit my studies for culinary management, and now I'm studying business management. I couldn't stand for those long hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it must be something hard. But well, hopefully in the future you'll be back to your culinary when
yeah.
you feel better. And anyways, those obstacles, I think that's help us to grow as a person.
Absolutely.
In my case, some obstacles I had back in my home country, it was the lack of opportunity in the
Yeah.
business area or any industry. I mean, you could say it was really hard to find a job, no many opportunities, unfair business situations, dealing with some colleagues that weren't very good or nice people. Anyways, now that I live out of my country, some obstacles have been adapting to some people, some new places, trying to learn the language. Um, Not be able to know everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some obstacles like you sometimes don't know all the locations.
Absolutely.
But anyways, this part of the experience of being
Absolutely.
outside.
Yeah,
and
100%.
It will help us to improve. And also, I mean, those obstacles have helped me to feel that I appreciate all the stuff I have right now, right?
Yeah.
So I think that those having obstacles in our lives is also very important.
100%.
Isn't it?
There's a very beautiful quote by Mr. Ratan Tata.
Yeah.
It says that ups and downs are very important in one's life because even in a flat line in an ECG means that you're dead.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Isn't it? So
and
that makes our lives somehow very
100%.
interesting.
Yeah.
So that it's sometimes
That's
maybe a good
beautiful.
thing.
Yeah.
Good to share that.
What is your professional identity or what industry do you aspire to work in?
Well, right now I am working in hospitality as a staff for events and functions as a waitress.
That must be exciting.
Yes, because
Events is amazing.
exactly. I can share with some colleagues how it could work in some events. It could be any different type of events in different locations, different venues, and
Yeah.
that makes it good. That makes me help to know how it works here. All different type of events I go to. It could be diplomatic stuff or just party celebrations, cocktails,
Yeah.
and that helps me a little bit how different cultures work, but also how develop myself with my social skills.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
That's beautiful.
However, I think I would like to move. Well, I'm sure I will. My thing is about business environment. So because I feel I would like to more about my management
Yeah.
skills and be able to negotiate and work as a teamwork
Yeah.
and going to all those things. So yeah,
That is really exciting.
I identify.
Yeah.
How about you?
I do hospitality as well. Currently, I'm working as a chef, as the only
Amazing.
female chef at a famous whiskey bar called the Doss House.
Nice.
So, yeah, I feel that it's a very heterogeneous environment here in Australia and gives us exposure to different kinds of cultures and to
Amazing.
adapt different things from each person. You know, everyone brings a different skill set to the table. You always learn along the way. And I think hospitality is something that I always wanted to be in because I wanted to have a own bakery of mine someday. So before I start a own business of mine, I want to gather all the knowledge and see, you know, what can go wrong and what are the setbacks that we face today in the VUCA world itself, you know.
Amazing.
So I think learning with experience is very important and yeah.
Yeah, well, I think I would like to become a businesswoman at some point, and
Yeah.
going into business world, maybe starting now would be a great idea.
100%.
Back in Colombia, I used to work as an assistant for the management in a exchange trade business, and it was a very nice experience. Now here I'm trying something different, but when I move back, I'll very happy to become learning all these things, especially being outside of my country, learning all what Australia has, which is so developed, amazing country. That is gives me a lot of glad feelings because it's something good and new to learn.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm very into right
That's
now.
beautiful.
Exactly. So I think this career is gonna help me a lot to communicate and develop all the skills to be able to work in the business world and.
Yeah, I love how
it's
it's
so exciting.
experience based, you know. You build experience along the way. That's what they're promoting, like
Exactly.
internships and all of
Yeah,
that. Too many
amazing.
opportunities.
Absolutely, and I think these topics talking about diversity, inclusion, give us a lot of idea. I just
Yes.
read for my assessment that inclusion is so important to know and to have as part of a business world. It is very important how inclusion and diversity are complementing each other.
Yeah, you know, like a lot of training places where when you go for a new job, there is a training place, and then what happens there is they teach you about diversity and inclusion, that they have to include these many people, the culture, the environment should be diverse. And I like how they're promoting that because a lot of places are rigid, you know, like back in India, it's very rigid. but
Exactly.
it's
Wow.
different over here, you know.
Yeah, well, that's good. I feel so happy for those companies who really apply the diversity and inclusion. As you mentioned before starting this conversation, that's in the company that you work for. They say they have a lot of diversity, but they don't actually include the
Yeah.
people. Tell a
The
little bit
t-
about that.
So basically, the term for that, basically diversity that isn't inclusive, is tokenism, and I think that a lot of people face that nowadays because they'll say that they're diverse, the organization is diverse, but suddenly you are not being included. You might not get a pay raise, or you know, you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
And I have faced this because I don't know, I'm the only female chef over there, and the other people sometimes try and corner me. You know, men will try and corner you, and they'll be like, "Oh no, you're gonna do everything," and that's exploiting.
Yeah,
It's up straight up
exactly.
exploiting.
It's definitely not inclusion.
Yeah.
And that's such a bad thing for this company. However, it is important to know, and I'm very interested because I want to become this businesswoman and have my company at some point. That inclusion is so important because it's not only about having all the diversity and know about ages and where they come from, but also focus in their knowledge and what they can do and their abilities. That's
Yeah.
diversity. But also it's important to know about inclusion because that means we can respect and recognize others'
100%.
ideas and also share their progress and the contributions people can make, and they can feel the belonging of being in a company.
Yes.
That's how we focus in somebody, in anyone
I
in
think
the
you
company.
can really tap their potentials like that.
Exactly.
When they're comfortable, when they feel, as you said, belonging. That is a very deep term, and that is
Exactly.
what every human looks for. And that will make the person stay longer in a company when they have that sense of belonging, the sense of respect and inclusion. That is the way to, you know, have a employee stay for
Absolutely.
longer.
I agree. Wow, what a great idea we're coming up with, and that makes me so
Yeah.
glad. Let's talk a little bit about the VUCA world. What do you think your future employee needs to know about your skills to work in the VUCA world?
I think because of the increase in the complexity and the uncertainty due to the pandemic, the VUCA world is now going to require people who have human judgment, like passion, empathy, creativity, and you know, the ability to face such situations, these uncertain situations, which is
Absolutely.
very tough.
Yeah.
They are, I think the organizations are looking for people like that, and I think these skill sets like empathy, passion, creativity, zealous, I think these things are my skill set, and I'll be able to fit very well in even in a VUCA world. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel this is very interesting. This is my first time mentioning the VUCA world term since I get into the class, into the course, and I've learned so many things of it, like how this VUCA world teaches so many things to face the situations, the changing world, and that's very important because it helps me to be prepared for all those changes.
Yeah.
And be able to communicate and develop myself as a person, as a professional, and it's very interesting. I think we should share a lot more in this environment.
Yeah.
Because it keeps us as how the modern world is, how it changes with all
Yeah.
pandemics or different with the ages, with how we go through the ages, and this is very interesting. In my case, all the skills I could share with my future employee, or being myself as my future employee when my company comes up, it will be my leadership skills, how I like to encourage people to work,
Yeah.
my teamwork skills,
That is very
be able to
important.
communicate, my patience and flexibility, which is also very important for the real world, some of the agility I will get through the years, and some other skills I still need to improve, as negotiation maybe. But that's very important to identify them. Also
Absolutely.
sharing it makes you feel like, oh, I'm being learning all this knowledge that's been so helpful for workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Beautiful.
All right. Is anything else you want to share?
I think this whole experience of talking with someone and
Yeah.
you know, understanding someone else from another culture, from another country,
Yeah.
is really enriching because we get to learn new things, how it works in your country and how it works in
Yeah,
my country, the
absolutely.
similarities, the
Yeah,
differences,
absolutely.
and how it is in the present, where we are
Exactly.
in Australia.
Hey,
And
that's right.
yeah,
All right. So thank you so much for sharing your ideas, and thank you everybody
you
for
so
listening to
much.
us. Thank you.
Bye.